Welcome to Hatman Strats Back Daily Boxing News. I watched this video on the TNT Sports Boxing YouTube channel. Their panel of experts were discussing the AJ Dubois fight. It consisted of Richie Woodall, Carl Frampton, George Groves, Steve Bunce, and Darren Fletcher, who's normally the lead commentator. Now, to provide some context here, Richie Woodall trained Daniel Dubois during his days as an amateur on Team GB. He also saw Dubois spar Anthony Joshua many times. Now, bear in mind, TNT Sports is Dubois' network. Normally in these cases, there's going to be some bias in favor of their fighters, regardless of what the network is, right? The Zone will be biased to some extent in favor of their guys usually. TNT do the same. Sky Sports do the same. Ditto in America. But interestingly, out of the 5 people on this TNT Sports panel, only one of them is picking Daniel Dubois to beat Anthony Joshua. Is that ominous? Bear in mind, Richie Woodall actually trained Daniel Dubois during Dubois' time as an amateur on Team GB. Richie Woodall saw Dubois spar Anthony Joshua many times. He talked up a lot of Dubois' best attributes. In fact, he was talking them up to such an extent that I was almost convinced that he was going to pick Dubois to win. But at the end of the video, when they were all giving their predictions, all of them who have actually boxed, including Steve Bunce, who had a lot of amateur fights, by the way, they all picked Anthony Joshua not only to win, but to win by knockout. Only Darren Fletcher, the one guy on the panel who hasn't boxed, was picking Daniel Dubois. Will Bricktop be having a word? Although Bricktop's attitude towards Eddie Hearn and that particular rivalry has softened since they've both come under the umbrella of Turkey Al Sheikh. Now it's more like a friendly rivalry rather than a fierce rivalry. But you know, I remember when John McCririck, who was a flamboyant, eccentric, larger-than-life horse racing presenter, who also used to do a bit of boxing presenting as well in relation to the odds, right? The betting lines and whatever. He worked the Nigel Benn Gerald McClellan fight that was broadcast on ITV. And he was the only one out of the entire panel on ITV that night that I can remember, at least. I'm not sure if Jim Rosenthal picked Nigel Benn, but I certainly remember Barry McGuigan and most of the other people picking Gerald McClellan to win. But John McCririck went against the grain and picked Nigel Benn, and he said, whenever all the newspapers, whenever all the hacks are unanimous on a particular horse or on a particular boxer, they're invariably wrong. So McCririck, who is an odds man, the fact that it was nearly unanimous in favor of McClellan, he saw that as ominous, not for Benn, but for McClellan. And of course, he was right. Tragic what happened to McClellan in that fight, obviously, but I do think the situation with AJ is a bit different. I don't think AJ has the kind of overwhelming arrogance about him that Gerald McClellan had going into the Nigel Benn fight. I think AJ is far more aware of his own mortality. He doesn't have the kind of chin, pound for pound, that Gerald McClellan had. McClellan, by the way, had an iron jaw, incredible chin. And when you combine that with his incredible punching power, that's why he was so confident going in there against Nigel Benn, because Nigel Benn had a reputation for being a bit chinny. But AJ's a different character to Gerald McClellan. He's more aware of his own mortality. He's more defensively responsible for sure. And he shared a ring with Daniel Dubois in the past, so he knows what's coming. He knows what to look out for. He's tasted his power and he's been hurt by the guy when Dubois was only about 17, I think. And AJ was about 24. So this must have been around the time when AJ was fighting people like Gary Cornish, Dylan White, maybe. Now AJ's come on leaps and bounds since then, obviously. They both have. Be that as it may, if Dubois could hurt AJ as a 17-year-old, he can definitely hurt him now. AJ knows that. So I don't think he's going to go in there and do anything silly and repeat the mistakes he made against, let's say, Andy Ruiz. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. Daniel Dubois' own network, the panel of experts, including Richie Woodall, who's actually worked with Daniel Dubois in the past. 4 out of the 5 of them are picking Anthony Joshua to win by knockout. What do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.